So I continued down Water Street to the corner of 4th and Water and watched the tornado. After it came through town, it crossed Military Street right about Griswold, and then on across what's now the Atchison property, the Vantage Point, and went through a lumber yard and scattered lumber all over the place, toppled a railroad car along the way, as it crossed St. Clair River, it picked up a lot of water. So I shot a picture of this white water spout when it was filled with water as it crossed the river, and then it went over into Sarnia, where it caused a great deal of damage because it hit right downtown, and Sarnia just smashed a lot of buildings and cost more lives on the Canadian side than it did on the American side.
I can remember that it was very hot, and we never had air conditioning. Of course, in those days, not many people did. But one place that did have air conditioning was the theater. So I went to a matinee at the Capitol Theater, downtown Sarnia, and when the theater let out, I walked across the street to Mac's restaurant there, and beside the Mac's restaurant was the pool hall.
A to Z stores. There was a lot of people come in, a lot of gentlemen, and they had shirts and pants and menswear in general. Walter Olney was the manager there, and I worked for him.
Most people didn't think this couldn't happen because you would have to cross the St. Clair River in order to maintain the tornado, but apparently that proved to be different.
The pool hall connected Christina Street and Front Street. It was quite a large pool hall. It was long all the way through to Front Street, except for one area. When you got to the other end, there was like a dairy bar type of thing. You could buy cigarettes, like a variety store type of thing now. It had a place you could get your shoes shined, and it had a pinball machine. And I went through there to get a chocolate malted, which they made a real good chocolate malted in those days. When I had the chocolate malted, all of a sudden the wind went down kind of. I don't know, didn't really notice it at the time. But and all of a sudden it just got very, very windy all of a sudden. And I didn't know what it was. And all of a sudden things started to go really in a hurry.
Walter Olney was the manager there, and I worked for him. We both stood in the door and watched the wind come down the street. And there was a Gower fur store across the road from where we were. And the sign literally went from hanging straight to going right upside down. It was up in the air.
Things were starting to fly outside in the street. All kinds of things. It was so instantaneous. And then it wasn't very long. I felt a lot longer than it was, I suppose. And then everything went quiet again. But there was a lot of damage outside. When this all took place, there was a big roar. I don't know what kind of like I wouldn't exactly say it was a train, but and like a big, heavy roar. There was a fellow with me. I didn't know his name. He was having his shoes shined, and we didn't know what it was, so we got underneath this pinball machine, and we just kind of stayed there till it cleared, and we went outside, and there was just absolute devastation. Everything was just torn up, and from there, I don't know what happened to him, but I remember going back through the pool hall to Christina Street. It was more bad over there too. It was really bad everywhere. Some places were okay, but other places were hit. I thought it was an explosion or something at Imperial Oil. That was the first thing that crossed my mind. And then I thought, well, I'll go down to the police department. Made my way down to the police station, which was at the city hall. And I met a buddy of mine. And then I found out from there it was a tornado that we had experienced.